Hello, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started, but we'll have a few more people joining. So welcome and hello. As some of you already know, we hold office hours every Thursday at 3 p.m. The goal here is to provide access to experts in our community. And each week we have an expert share their expertise, knowledge, and just how to help support the growth of their business. This week, we have our social media expert in residence, Mo. She's here to talk to us about how to grow your business or how to grow your social media following, even if you hate social media. I'm super excited about this topic. Today's takeaways. So just some overview of like social media tips and tricks, sustainable growth versus viral growth, which is better and why, how to convert social media to sales. That's a big one. Timing and how to decide what to post. And then also branding and the importance of branding on social media. So just a reminder, this session is really meant to be interactive as possible, really. And so make sure to have your questions ready and get those answered as much as possible. So we're going to get started. I do want to turn it to Mo to do an introduction. And also, Mo, just tell us a little bit about like how you got into social media. I don't think I've ever heard that story.
Yeah, I am Mo, and my pronouns are she, her. I have been doing social media far longer than I should have. I think I was like the generation of millennials coding before we actually knew what coding was. And like most millennials, fell in love with social media as a way to connect. My journey was a little askewed of how I got here today. I went to school for vocal performance and business administration. And when I graduated college, I wanted to work in the music industry. And so I ended up working for a concert venue in Portland, Oregon, that was 1,400. It mainly did hip hop, but had a lot of other like Dua Lipa. It was like right before they blew up and could sell out like 30,000. They would play at this venue. So I learned about marketing in the digital space and the way that they do it. And it is so very different than most fields. They pretty much copy the way that Nike announces new things. And it took me by storm and fell in love with it. I got tired of working at the venue just because it's like crazy hours, crazy agents. I decided to just freelance for myself and just take my knowledge and only work with music people. So like teaching them how to do releases and all that fun stuff. That is where I met Amy Evans. She is another musician in Portland, and we connected and started working together in different spaces. And I was telling her how I do management, which is just the day-to-day and understanding all of the functionalities. There's creator, there's manager, there's strategist, there's overseer. So there's a bunch of different avenues. I was the manager at the time, which means posting on the story, making captions, growing their channels, commenting back, all of that fun stuff. And I basically said, I don't want to do that anymore. What's the next thing? Where's the next step up? And Amy introduced me to strategy. And we spent some time taking a bunch of classes together. You have to get certified in a couple different things. And here I am today doing strategy for Chatterboss and a bunch of clients alike and just having a blast. So yeah.
Oh, I love it. I always love hearing your story because it really just so much of your personality comes out in your story and how you found us and how you found your way into this. And it's so cool to see you in both of your professions because both of them fit your personality so well. And so anyways, just thank you for being here today, Mo. We're very excited. Just for anyone who just recently joined, Mo is our expert in residence. She's our social media guru here at Chatterboss. And so this is really meant to be an interactive session. So at any point, feel free to either put questions in the chat for Mo or unmute yourself and ask questions as we go forward. So to start, Mo, I just want to kick us off. So there's so much out there surrounding social media, and like for one, social media in of itself is like so many different platforms, right? Like there's so many. So tell us, is like one platform just the best for like every business, or does it vary by the business? Like, tell us, like, talk us through platforms and like where entrepreneurs should be focusing their time.
Yeah, so that question is twofold, because I'll start with each platform and what they do, not going into detail, but understanding that each platform is very different in functionality. For example, Twitter is one of the hardest profiles to grow on. It is meant to do like daily thoughts. So if you try to post a photo on Twitter, it doesn't do as well. It's very text driven. LinkedIn is for connections. It's very business driven. So you couldn't just post a family photo. It doesn't do well. Instagram is a nurturing platform. Those are where most of your conversions come from for sales. And then TikTok is a new platform that is a lot of different things and functionality. But the most important thing is it is easy to find your audience because they cater a For You page in ways that none of the other platforms can do. The second part of that is a lot of people already have followings on other platforms like Facebook. So it's really hard for them to leave and go to other platforms because they're like, well, I have 200,000 followers on my Facebook page. I don't want to start over anywhere. So just learning how to use the platforms that you already have, if you already have a following, is a really big understanding, because Facebook has changed within the last 10 years. And to move over to TikTok and start at zero is pretty crazy. So yeah, there is a way and a flow, but the first thing that we like to tell all of our clients, all the people that I work with, and check in with myself is, what is your goal? What is your top goal? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to sell product? Are you trying to be a lifestyle influencer? If you just want to talk to yourself, then that's me. I'm on Twitter. I talk to myself all day long. Sometimes people comment, sometimes they don't. So just asking yourself, what is your goal? And then finding which platform works for you from there.
I love that. That's so important. And you're right. It's so scary to go from a platform where you have all of these followers into a zero following. I think there's just this fear now in the world that's like, put something out there and like no one likes it, no one views it. Right? Like you do, you feel like you're talking to yourself sometimes. But that's where people like you can really help us. People like me.
I love that that you said the fear that no one likes it. And this was something I heard on TikTok, and I now use this with my own personal self of narrative of how I feel about social media. If you were walking down the street and 50 people said they liked your shirt, you would feel overwhelmed. So why don't you feel that way in the digital space? So we try to remind every person that we work with that one like is one person saying, hey, I like your shirt. It means a lot. And just to remember that when you're moving forward, that yes, it's one follower, but it's one person, one human being.
I love that. And that kind of takes us into like growth, right? Because like so many people are really looking to grow their social media in a way that is like impactful for their business, but also like, I know you guys preach a lot, you and Amy, like sustainability, right? And so like, tell us about that, right? What is the communication, or like, what's the conversation around like viral growth versus like sustainable, steady growth? Like,
get viral
which
growth
is better?
out of your head. Get it out of your head. Never say the word viral to me. It's so hard to know how it's going to happen. And it's like that on purpose. I like to use Jay Shetty as a really great example of how to have sustainability with great messaging. He started on YouTube and has moved over to all of the channels. He has a podcast that's like the #1 health podcast in the world. He is a content guru. He knows how to take one thing and turn it into so many things to put it in each functionality on each platform. So he'll do the podcast and record it on YouTube. He'll cut the clips down to put them on Instagram and on TikTok as reels. He'll chop it down again to do sound bits on LinkedIn, and he'll live tweet sometimes what's happening. So like it's insane, like content guru, so amazing. And that's where you should start if you want sustainability. Taking one piece of your content and being able to put it on all of the platforms. That's the start. The viral thing, it's quite difficult, and that is because it's purposeful. So the algorithm, specifically with TikTok, takes people who don't really have a message to make them go viral because they know they won't go on the app to do more. It's very, very tricky. We had a client who has a really great natural medicine company, and one of her Instagram videos hit 11 million views. We have no idea. It's the cutest video ever. 11 million views. That same video hit 300 views on TikTok. Same video, right? You just don't know. You just don't know. So put out good content, put out what you love, make sure it can fit on all different platforms, and let the rest be with the gods. That's what I try to say.
I love that. That's so funny. That makes so much sense though, right? Like you really don't know. And I guess there's different, would you say that there's different types of people on different platforms, or like different audiences on, like I'm thinking about our Chatterbox account, right? Like on Instagram, we may have a different type of audience looking for different type of content than we do on like LinkedIn, right? Like, so what does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, that's sitting down with yourself and asking who you want your audience to be like and where do they exist, right? So we know most Gen Zs are not on Instagram. It is what it is. We know most beauty influencers are on Pinterest, right? So understanding who is where, and then going from there with what your message is going to be. So for example, I could be selling you a pen. On Pinterest, I will just have the picture of the pen with a beautiful message of what the pen is. On YouTube, I will be using the pen. Hi, welcome back to my channel. Here is my pen that I'm going to show you today. On TikTok, I will make a funny dance with my pen. And on Instagram, I will have a very pitchy hard sell with a shop link, because Instagram has actual shop link, right? So I was talking to everyone about the pen, but just making sure it fits who, right? If I went on TikTok and was like, here's the shop link for my pen, that's hilarious. Nobody cares. They want to see you do a dance. They want to see you do a trend. Have a good time, right? People will buy your pen.
That's so funny. How do you, how does the average like entrepreneur or just like content creator know, like, is there like a summary book somewhere of like what, you know what I'm like viciously over here taking mental notes of like, okay, this is how you do this content, right? Like I'm sure some of our audiences as well, but really, like, is there like a summary book somewhere of like the type of content you should put out on each of these platforms? Or is that like you really should get someone to support you if you want to be a content generator? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, and what a great question. And I wish there was an easy way to say it, but like ultimately you've learned being an entrepreneur that there are some things that you don't have capacity to learn or you don't want to learn. So hire a person, right? Hire out a person that has the expertise in it. If you have time and space, I mean, YouTube University is the best thing. And all you have to do is how to get good on TikTok, how to get good on Instagram. There's tons of people that will, and type in the year, right? I always do 2022. Right? You want the most accurate to what the app is doing, and can start from there. I follow a lot of social media influencers. I'm subscribed to so many channels. I'm in a Instagram like strategist meetup. We call it SA, like, you know. So we constantly are talking about what's happening with the app. I have a friend who works for Google that is constantly telling me what's happening with algorithm changes. So if you really want to get good at it, the way that you got good at your craft and entrepreneurship, surround yourself around it. There's a really great book on how to win 1 million followers. There it is. How to win 1 million followers. They have a PDF download. It's on my computer right now. So just surrounding yourself with information, you can learn it. If you don't want to, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't force yourself to do something.
I definitely agree with that. That goes back into our delegation coaching, right? If it is not your zone of genius, please don't waste your time, right?
Yeah.
But there are definitely things in entrepreneurship that you have to do, right? Like, and having a presence online is one of them for many entrepreneurs. And so, so let's talk about if an entrepreneur needs to be a content creator, right? Like they need to be the face of their business, or they are their product, right? Like you're a business coach, you are your product, right? You need to be online. so they work with someone to help create the content, like someone like you, but what do they need on their end? Like, do they need like a professional camera? Do they need like certain apps? Like, what do they need in order to like kind of help co-create some of this content?
Yeah, there's a basic thing like a ring light. I'm using one. Literally, this is my desk ring light right here. It's just my desk one. Then I have a tall one that sits on the ground, right? So if you don't have a big camera, just use your ring light. The iPhone works just fine, right? The more you invest in it, the better it will be. So I like to use free. I think we were slacking about that today, that you were like, well, how much is it? I was like, I don't know. I use the free version. I don't pay for things. I will use the free version. So there's tons of like editing apps and software apps that are free. And if you type into Google best free editing app, it'll be in a list, and you can choose whatever feels comfortable for you to do. I do believe in investing in what you do. So the only thing you shouldn't cut corners on is someone who can edit your videos really well. Like that is a thing that like, that's what makes the difference between influencers and people who do social media. So if you can find someone who's a really great editor, invest your money in it.
Amazing. And that's something that you guys do for the entrepreneurs that we work with, right?
Yeah, we do light editing because we try to make sure that it's not overwhelming. And that's the thing. When you get started on social media, do not overwhelm yourself. You can have people who you look up to and want to do. You build your way up to it. So usually with our clients that are just getting started, we start with simple reels or simple TikToks or simple YouTubes for them to make. And most of the time we try to get them to make it in one take because that's them practicing their personality for going live. So if they're doing a video and they keep stopping and cutting and stopping and cutting and stopping and cutting, that's not really good practice. And it's going to take a long time for us to edit. So we try to start off with very simple, 60-second videos where they're talking all the way through, where we don't have to make any edits. And after they're a few months in, then we'll get to some more complicated like trends and transitions that we'll need from them.
That makes sense why you sent me that that reel that you sent me earlier this week that I was able to just do one take on. That makes perfect sense because I am a newbie at reels. I'm all for lives. I was telling our colleague today, she was like, can you make this bomb? I'm like, sure, I'll just turn on my video and talk. I can do that all day. But when it comes to like doing stuff to the music, and it takes a little practice.
It takes time. Yeah. So we try to pick easy ones. We try not to overwhelm, and that's good. Like have the little wins that you did this. It was a trendy thing and you did it, and then you got 500 views. Now we're going for a harder one. Right.
Yeah. No, I love that. And anyone that has a question, please interrupt me or raise your hand or put a question in the chat for Mo, and we'll definitely answer it. But I'm going to keep going just because this is such valuable information. So Mo, you talk about wins, right? So what is a win, right? Like, how do we tell if something is a win on social media? Is that like an analytics conversation, or like, how do I decide what's a win and what was like, oh, this isn't really working?
Well, twofold. One, everything is a win to me because you're doing it and a lot of people want to do it and are. Everything is a win to me. Even a misspelled word on your story. The story is up today. That's beautiful. Like, good job. You did it. But analytics are very important. And what's important about them is understanding what they're saying to you in comparison to what your goals are. So we send out weekly analytics to our clients. And when they first join us, we teach them what the analytics are. So when they see the weekly analytics, they can just read through it and kind of know where we're at in terms of what their 6-month goals are. The most important analytics is website taps. If you are trying to sell something, so like consultations like we do for Chatterboss, or a product, getting people to the website. That's like the most, I look at website taps every day. The second analytic that's really important specifically to Instagram and TikTok and Pinterest are saves. Are people saving it? Do they care enough to save it to their page to come back and look at it? That lets you know what kind of content you're making. Is it savable? The third analytic is to look at is your reach. Reach is really, really important. It's not really about who's following, it's about who it's reaching to. And then looking exactly like, is it more male? Is it more female? Is it more non-binary? Where is it reaching? What are the age groups that you're reaching, right? So if I looked at my Instagram and my age group is 35 to 40, and my TikTok is 21 to 25, I'm going to be making two different things. I'm talking to two different people.
Got it. I love that. And we actually just redid our pulled all the data for like our ideal audience, and it was almost shocking. It was like we intuitively felt like we knew, but there was a big piece of our audience that was a different age group than what we thought. And
yeah, we had a meeting after that with the social media team, and Audrey was like, no, that's not who I've been talking to. I'm like, isn't that hilarious? Like, we're talking to very different people.
Yeah. So how important is that? Like, and is that something that you should be doing before you really get involved with social media, like identifying who you're talking to, or is that something that you're continuously identifying over time as your brand is developing? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, you definitely should start before you get on social media. I mean, and this is like a really fun exercise to do. What's your big goals? What's your 3-month goals? Like, I want to have a blue check mark. It's okay to want that. It's okay. You can want it. Put it on there. I want to have 100,000 views every reel. It's okay. Put that on there. Then put the 3-year goal, then the 3-month, and then over time, even put who you'd like to be talking to. That doesn't mean that's who you're going to be talking to. Who would you like to be talking to? Because analytics don't lie. Just because you think this hairbrush is going to be sold to 14-year-old girls on TikTok does not mean another clientele isn't going to want it.
Mm-hmm.
And then constantly checking in with yourself on who you're talking to. And it doesn't need to be weekly, right? You can't change your audience within a week. But I mean, if you get a really good post that gets about 10,000 to 15,000 in traction, that's the post that I want to look at. Who are the people in that post? What are they doing? How are they functioning? How can I talk to them some more?
That's so important. And there's another question I have for you surrounding analytics. It's like, it's actually another two-part. I don't know what it is with me and twofolds today, but it's one is, and now it's gone. No, it's not. It's here. It's here. One is, how often do you read analytics? You said you check weekly and you give your clients updates. Is that like crucial to do it weekly? And if not, like, what is like the bare minimum you should be checking analytics? We'll just start there.
Yeah, weekly is just what we do. And it's more or less because when we get a lot of clients, they've been eschewed from other social media people who have charged them for things and not delivered. So the weekly that we do is to keep everyone unfocused for what the goal is. And it's a really good handholding. And it's also to get the client comfortable with looking at numbers. Right? If you're every week looking at numbers, you kind of know what's happening. Sometimes we have clients who like, send it, I'm not looking at it, but just send it. I think monthly checking in, we do monthly analytics with Chatterboss. Every month looking to see what's happening with your social media is more than enough.
Got it. Sorry, I froze there for a second. And then what are the key analytics? You mentioned a couple. Are there any other specific key analytics that our entrepreneurs should be looking at?
Outside of the ones that I mentioned, which is your reach, your website taps, and your saves, it's really weird to be like, how many people are liking your post? Likes don't actually matter anymore. Tons of people like posts that they don't care about. Followers is a really fun one. How many people followed you in the week? I love clicking on Chatterboss's follows. I'm like crazy ex-girlfriend. I'm like, let me see who's following that person. Let me see who's following that person. I want to see what this person's audience looks like. Can we even reach them? Are they even important to reach? So followers are really great. And followers will convert into, actual sales, will convert into getting your freebie, signing up for a newsletter, right? These are the loyal people. So definitely looking at your follows each week. And looking at who you follow. Are you following people that represent what your message is? Like, who are you following?
Got it. I love the whole conversation around audience. And I think there's another piece here that's like, there's so many people or so many entrepreneurs who have their own personal accounts, right? And they've had their personal accounts for years, but now they're an entrepreneur and they need to open a business account, or they need to create this following around their business. how do you do that transition? One, and like, do you ask your existing followers to follow your business? Like, what does that look like?
I don't even think you should make another page. Just change your handle and change your photo. Like, why start over? Why start over? And you can get really fun with it, right? You can, the Jonas Brothers, for example, when they went to post their new album 7 years after their last album, they turned their Facebook profile black. That's it. They didn't say anything. They just turned, and everyone's like, are the Jonas Brothers back? Are the Jonas Brothers back? Oh my God, are the Jonas Brothers back? Right? They didn't make a big, right? This is it. So, I mean, get really fun and crazy. One, don't ever start from scratch if you don't have to, right? You don't go to the store to get milk if you already have milk in the house. That does not make any sense. It's a waste of a drive. Gas is so expensive. So make a fun post about it. Like, you thought you knew me? I'm an entrepreneur, always changing myself, right? Have fun with it.
Perfect. And then for us, people who are not up with the trends is the phrase that comes to my mind. How do you know what's trending, Mo? Like, we hear this word trending all the time. Like, how do I know if something is trending?
TikTok really makes it easy for you on their search page. You can either type trends, weekly trends in the search, or on their actual search page, it'll show you exactly what's happening within the trend world. Instagram pushes their trending sounds really easily on the reel page. So if you go to your Instagram, in the very middle should be where you can access reels at the bottom of the toolbar. Just scroll up a couple times. You'll know what's trending. That's being pushed to you. It's very, you'll see a couple of the same sounds and you're like, oh, that's what's happening. There's also trend finder apps that you can use. You can also hire someone like me who's constantly on social media, constantly in the trending world. But most of the time, the trends really follow what's happening within seasons or holidays. Specifically, like America is like the biggest users right now on TikTok. So like a lot of American politics and holidays really are saturated on TikTok. So usually if there's something coming up, there'll be some trending things around that.
I remember seeing on Instagram all of the people doing their Halloween costume, but like to the voice of the actual persona. It was like, oh, yes. This must be a trend.
Yes. I just did that because I was Tyler, the creator. So I was to his song that I was being. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think I did see yours. It was really cute. I loved it.
Yeah. So that's a really great one. Even just like, so like the makeup transitions, those are really trendy. So if you just typed in your search transition trend, boom, you're in it. You're gold. So many to choose from.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like those as well.
And I want to add what trends actually do, because I don't think people know. So whatever is trending gets pushed out above most content, which is why we tell most of our clients when you're making a talking video to have a trending sound on low underneath, because the trending sounds or the trends that you do get pushed above most content. That's why trends are really important to do. So it's not just about like, I'm joining in and doing this. It's about your content getting pushed above other people's contents.
That's so true. And I didn't even realize until you just said that. It also goes on that, like use the audio page on Instagram. When I was using that audio you gave me for that reel the other night, I went to that page and I could see everyone who had used that audio. That's really neat. So many things. My mind is over here blowing. If anyone else has any questions, please feel free to unmute and ask, or you can type it in the chat, raise your hand if you want to be political. Totally fine. Whatever is most comfortable for you. Go for it, Brandy. I see your hand raised.
Hey guys. So first of all, Mo, this is great. Thanks, Tiffany, for doing this. Yes. What do you say, Mo, to like, I'm the cheesy auntie. So I don't care really about social media, but I also realize the value of it. I'm well aware of it. What do you say to someone like me who's just like, doesn't know really like the bells and whistles or even want to be bothered with the bells and whistles of like an Instagram or Facebook? How do you manage that? Or what's some like easy tips to do?
Yeah, well, first, Brandy, we love a cheesy auntie. We love it. there are billions of people using social media. So the off chance that 1,000 people will love your cheesy content is very, very high. You don't always have to conform to what's happening in order to get your message across. Sometimes conforming, like using trends, is very good to move you ahead. But social media was originally created to be fun and to connect with people. That was the basis for it. So if you're still using that functionality, you're doing better than most. I would say there is a way to be cheesy while using each platform the way that they're supposed to be used. So we know now that Instagram is pushing video content above all other content. So you can still be your cheesy aunt self, maybe to a video with a trending sound on low. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, that does answer it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I would even type in the hashtag, Brandy, cheesy aunt, and see what you find on that hashtag.
Oh, good one. Okay.
You might be inspired to actually be the front face of that hashtag.
Be the spokesmodel for cheesy auntie.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's such a good one. Thank you, Brandy, for jumping in. I see Lisette with her hand raised. Go ahead, Lisette.
First off, I love all of this. I also love cheesy and so I'm curious. So I feel like I was part of the generation where like I remember social media coming out and it has just changed so much. How do you feel about I feel like the sound and what's trending is more important than hashtags, but before it was like you needed the right hashtag in order to be seen. Like, do you feel like hashtags are relevant anymore in today's day?
Oof. I was just having this conversation. Yes, they are important because when people are searching specifically on social media, they're searching hashtags. So they're important in a very different functionality now. They used to be important with the algorithm to move your post in the place that it's supposed to go to cater your following. Now they have trending sounds to do that. So they are now in conjunction too. They're pretty much the bottom and the top of a sandwich. And one without the other doesn't really make sense. So using hashtags to get on pages where your target audience would be searching is important, as well as using the trending sounds that your target audience would be listening to.
Perfect.
And your generation, I mean, I'm in the generation that has seen it in all of I still get upset every time I open Instagram and they move a button. I'm like, why would you put it there? It doesn't make it easier to edit this way. So I'm a part of the people who have watched it change and grow. And I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing here?
Thank you so much. That's helpful.
That reminds me of all of the updates on the iPhone or any of the phones, and you're like, why would you change this? And then 3 weeks later, you're like, this is so much better. It's just like, it's so hard though to transition, but once you're there, it's like, oh my gosh, this is so much better.
It's the herding the sheep. It's like, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
I see Lisette with her hand back up. What you got, Lisette?
I have more. So I'm curious too. I'm just curious on like how often you have to post. Like, does it matter how often you post? Do you have to post consistently? Are there certain like rules we have to follow to be seen? Because I feel like, just like we're talking about the app changing all the time, I feel like the algorithm changes and I can't keep up with it. So I'm just curious, like, does that piece matter? Or if I post one good thing a week, like, is that good enough?
Yeah. So this question depends on what you're trying to do on social media, right? If you're a mom who just wants to post your kids whenever you post your kids, who actually cares? Post when you want to post. If you're an influencer that's specifically looking for brand recognition and awareness, well, then that changes things. I think the most important thing is the posting times, and it's specifically important on TikTok, Instagram, and Pinterest. Posting times will be shown in your analytics page, and you get more accurate posting times the more that you post. So you'll have to start off by posting up to 3 times a week in order to figure out when exactly is the best time for you to post. I like to start clients off with 3 times a week because that teaches them to get into the functionality of constantly being in content creation state, right? If I say only post 1 time a week, they're not going to look at content all the time. They're not going to be making content all the time. They're not going to be around the mind of doing social media. That's too infrequent. So 3 times a week to get started. And if you wanted to do like Mondays just on Twitter, Wednesdays just on Instagram, Fridays just on TikTok, like that's a really great start for yourself, right? That's text content and 2 video contents. It's a really good week.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's a great answer, Mo. And to couple off of that, Brandy's asking if there's a scheduler that you recommend. And I think you have one, right? That you,
Yes.
She said preferably free, which I think from you will likely be the case.
Woo! Metric Cool. Metric Cool is an incredible scheduling app. It's metriccool.com. Because when you upload, it's up to 3 platforms for free. And so when you upload your platforms, you can see all of your analytics in Metricool. You don't have to go from Instagram to Facebook to TikTok. It's all right there. I personally like it for my clients so that I don't have to be in all of their apps to see what's happening. I just log into their Metricool and use it. I personally like Metricool. There are some limitations to the free version. There are some limitations to the free version. I will say that. If you are able and have the budget to hire a social media manager to take the day-to-day away from you, I like having the social media managers draft everything in each app and use Metricool only to follow metrics and help them read and understand better. I love posting stories live. I think it's so much better to post your stories live than to schedule them out. But to each their own. Metricool is king here in the Chatterbox world. We should be their brand ambassadors. We love them.
We'll have to reach out.
We love them.
So that kind of goes into another question I have for you is like, are there other softwares that we should be using? I think we talked about this a little bit, but the scheduler was one, but are there others that we should be using?
Yeah, so let's talk about content creation and editing content, because this is a really good flow that I've learned the trick is the easiest. The best app to make your content on and edit your content on is Instagram. The reason for that is because you can save it to your phone, your camera roll, and send that video. It strips the audio from it, but send the video to any person, right? So we use the client will make all of their content on Instagram, save it, and then put it on our Monday board. We use that as the content calendar for their social media manager. The reason why you can't do that on TikTok is because TikTok only lets you save it as a draft, and the only person who can access that is the person that made it. It will also only allow you to post it as private, but when you download it to the phone, it has the TikTok watermark. Then you got to get another app to remove the watermark. And so I try to tell all the people, make all your content on Instagram. It is the easiest way to go. You can send it to every single person.
Very cool. I wonder if Instagram knows that, and that's why like that has to up their usage, right? And then people have to go on there to create their content. So it's very smart.
Yes, it is. It is one of the little legs they have over TikTok that they'll never let go.
I love that. That's so smart. Roz, I saw you have your hand raised. Was that your question or did you have a different one?
I'm sorry, I was trying to push buttons. I pushed the wrong button. The thing was in my pocket. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No problem, Roz. We're so glad to have you. No worries at all. So Mo, one of the things I want to talk through before we end today is and Lisette took a little piece of it, but it's like, okay, we know when to post now, right? Like we talked through that, but like, how do you know what to post, right? Like, I think this is like the biggest overwhelm that our entrepreneurs feel. It's like, I go in to post and I'm like sitting there for 30 minutes trying to figure out what to post. And then it takes me 30 minutes to create the content. And now I've been here for an hour and now I have to edit it. And then I have to find the hashtags. And then like, it's like a 3-hour process to create one video. So like, how do they know? Is there like, what can we do to help our entrepreneurs like know what to post? I know there's like generic recommendations out there, but like, what do you follow? Like, how do you?
This is gonna be the secret. I would write down 6 content pillars. So 6 things you want to talk about, 6 things, and make them broad so that you can break them down. Family, love, wealth, product, personal growth, gym gains. From these 6, then get into really big detail about what about each of them do you want to post. Family, I want to post how my family travels a lot. I want to post the family dynamic between my stepchildren and being a stepmother. I want to post the 6 years that I was a single mother, right? So really get into the nitty gritty of what you want to post. When you have all of that detailed out, start with one content pillar for 1 month. Now you got 6 months of content ready.
Wow. You're welcome, everyone. Mo Lincoln, everyone. No, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
That is so brilliant. We talk content pillars all the time, right? When we're doing content creation for Chatterbox, but I never heard that story. So now I'm like over here making me a genius all along, Mo.
That's the secret. 6 months. 6 months is more than enough content to get started. And as you get through the first month, you will later learn exactly how you want to say it better with the next content pillar. And
Awesome.
Get zoned in.
Amazing. We have questions coming in. Brandy, I'm going to let you come off Zoom or come off mute and ask your question. I'm just going to read through the one in the chat and then we'll go from there. So go ahead, Brandy.
It's a 2 parts. One, do you have any editing recommendations, platforms recommendations? And then 2, you talked about the plan to have the various different content to create content. What if you don't want to like overshare? I find it like, I don't want to be too personal. I don't want people in my business. But I also know that there's value in being personable. So what's the fine line there?
The editing app is Instagram is free, so I would use Instagram for editing. And then if you wanted to pay for one, I love Splice. That one, I think it's like $4.99 a month. I've been using it for so long. It's like one of those reoccurring charges that I don't pay attention to. Splice is really great. For what to say and what not to say. I like to use the rule, if you went to church on Sunday, would you feel comfortable sharing your posts? If the answer is no, share it.
That's a good rule.
No, I think authenticity is really important. I think some people sometimes share for likes and views. So specifically with TikTok comments are really mean. So if you're going to share something, be prepared for someone to comment back. I mean, it's a digital space and there are no real rules. I'm a person who has no secrets. I'm an open book. I'm an open book online. I don't really care. Nothing really bugs me. I did get one TikTok comment that almost made me cry and I was like, you're getting blocked. But other than that, share whatever you feel to share. And if you feel inclined, I mean, you can always take it down. You can always archive it. You can always delete it. I love people who are open and honest and raw online. It's a really great way to see the real version of them. And the digital space sometimes is so askewed. It's so refreshing to have a real raw person.
That's so true. That's so true. I love the accounts that I can just follow and like watch their stories all day and they're like, just like doing stuff around their house and like and these are like moms that I can very much relate to. I'll even call them my friends. So my husband, he's like, have you ever met this person? Absolutely not, but they're my Instagram friends. Okay. Yes, they're my friends.
I have my digital mentors. I've never met them, but they're my mentors. They are mine.
Exactly. But Kirsten has a question in the chat. And I think I've heard this before as well. Is there any evidence that shows that Instagram hides or doesn't promote posts that are scheduled as much as they do the ones that are created on their platform?
Ooh, she's learning. Yes, it used to do that, and the reason to why is because Instagram is about to roll out a scheduling app scheduling in the app. So they are trying to get rid of outside users, and I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be rolling out with influencers like within the week first. Then it goes to the norms, the normal peeps. It really did, and the reason for that is because time in the app equals money, which is why social media is so addicting. So they really want you to be in the app. And for example, I'm gonna use TikTok as a really great example. TikTok used to pay their creators. This was in 2020. They used to pay their creators for their time in the app. So if the creator was live, they would get paid for as long as they were on live. Wow. It ended within 2021 when like all of these users, joined during the pandemic. And they changed the model to when they're live, their followers or whoever's watching the live can send them a gift, $1, right? So now the model changed from the app is paying you to the user is paying you. So since that switch, users will need to be live longer to get more people to pay them than they used to, that the app used to pay them. And that really changed the way that addiction happened with TikTok. I mean, you literally have to be live as your livelihood. And same goes, because of that model, Instagram changed their model, right? You got to fight fire with fire. Now people are staying on TikTok too long. So now we need to do something to make sure people are on Instagram longer. So Instagram rolls out not using scheduling apps to promote their stuff as much. They've moved Reels over, right? They didn't have that before. And they changed the way that lives work. Remember, you just go live by yourself. Now you can have 2 people in a live. So all of these things, as you keep watching and seeing, when one app makes a major change, all of the other apps will make major changes. So great question, Kristen. That was really great. That's why I like doing a lot of the putting the reels in for the week, just saving them as drafts. You can have the cover photo, the video, and the copy ready to go, saved in a draft. And all you have to do on the day of is wake up, comment on people's, follow a few people, hit the post button, and get off.
So that leads us right into our next question, Mo, which is like, how much time should our entrepreneurs or their assistants, if they're working with us, how much time should they be spending on social media? I mean, we went through that whole ordeal earlier, like you could be on there for 3 hours, but how long should you be like engaging with your audience, like before each post? I know you guys do that a lot. And like just in general, how often should you be on social media engaging with your audience?
We love a good 20 minutes before, 5 to 10 minutes after. That's like the ideal, right? If you have the budget for it, spending 30 minutes a day on social media is really great. And breaking up your time, right? I'd spend 15 minutes on TikTok, 10 minutes on Instagram, 5 minutes on Twitter, because that's really hard to grow on. And as long as I'm liking a few posts, then we're good. Usually with our clients, we try to do like, if you have up to 5 platforms, like 5 hours a week is really, really great. 3 platforms, 3 hours a week, 3 to 4 hours a week. But the question goes back to, what are you trying to accomplish with social media, right? What are you trying to accomplish? The more you put in, we know the more that comes out. So if you want to be viral, you want a blue check mark by next year, baby girl, you need to be spending 2 hours a day commenting. We call it the crazy ex-girlfriend. That's Amy and I's coined term. I mean, you need to be on your followers. You need to be so that people constantly see your stuff popping up everywhere. They're like, who is this person I keep seeing?
Got it. No one does that to me. So that actually makes me want to go back to the piece about content creation, right? Because as we're creating this content, do you guys usually map out and have everything planned? And do you recommend that, having everything planned up front? And if so, how far in advance should we be like kind of planning out content as an entrepreneur and that engagement piece?
Yeah, I'm a really great example. Brendan Bouchard is a high performance speaker. Love him. He did work with Obama, and he said Obama would have his outfits laid out the night before, because the worst thing you want to do when you have to give a major speech is open your closet and say, what should I wear today? Right? So
Yes.
the more prepared you are, the better you are. We like to do content batch creation. It is the easiest way to make content for the average person. So that means on a Saturday, you would spend 4 hours making 2 weeks worth of content, putting it all in your calendar, and then that's ready to go. And then the next Saturday, you make 2 more weeks. And then the next Saturday, right? If you get a month ahead, oh, child, then during the week, if you want to post something because you want to post something and you felt like it feels more creative and free, as opposed to waking up and being like, okay, what am I going to post today? So plan it out, plan a month and ahead, make your content 2 weeks in advance. You just change your shirt, change your hair, change your shirt, make 4 videos in a row. Yeah.
That's so true. That's so true. Roz is in the chat saying batching saves time and reduces stress. Those 2 reels I created the other night, I threw this shirt on for 2 minutes to film a reel. I threw another shirt on to film a reel. There's no shame. Yes, I love batch.
Amy loves to make all the content or all the captions in one day. She'll make the outline of the video, the caption, and all Monday. I'll just be getting updates from her all day long. Boop, 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 boop. She's like, okay, month is all planned out. Make your content now.
Love it. I see Roz put her hand back up, maybe. I'm not sure if that was a pocket or not. There she is. Hi, Roz.
Hey, you guys. When you got to the badge part, I had to come off the camera. Let me tell you something. I don't even change my clothes for badge. I sit in my car and I do what's called a caregiver car chronicles. I sit here, and I have my paper taped to my dashboard. My seatbelt is on. I park my car and I do 4 at a time. Then for my podcast, I do bulk recordings. My podcasts are anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes long, and that's just me talking. If I interview a guest, it's 20 minutes. I go to the podcast studio once a month, block 2 hours a time. I do 7 mini podcasts and 2 interviews. I'm done for 2 months. I'm serious. I have the lady do my makeup, beat my face to the gods, get it done, take the makeup off, 2 fingers.
Yeah.
Don't sit up here and say, okay, I'm gonna do it this week. No. Tiffany will tell you I have my content planned for the whole year. I have themes every month. And so I have a theme going and I put my content around that theme. This month is Natural Caregivers Month. Okay, what do I talk about? Hello, somebody. So I just want to put that out there. It's not as hard as you think. I can't stand being on video. I hate it with a passion. Like going to the, I don't know, just going somewhere you don't want to go. But I just wanted to say that I'm done speaking. Bye.
Thank you, Roz.
Everyone loves you, Roz, as always. We love you. We love having you. Thank you. So I want to talk just quickly before we're done, because there was a big piece here about sales that we didn't get to, right? And we talked a little bit about it, but like, how are we converting sales to, like, from social media, like from leads to sales, like, or what is that journey, right? Like you're a follower to a lead to a client, right? And also, like, how often should our entrepreneurs, because like if I'm like, sales is just my jam, so I'm going to be on social media, like trying to sell every day. And I know people are going to stop following me. So how often should I be doing hard sells on social media too?
Yeah, it's the $1.80 method is the method that we do. You don't want to oversaturate people with sales. At the end of the day, if they like something, they're going to buy it. It's good to know, like, TikTok is a selling platform if you have over 1,000 followers, because then you can put your link in your bio. So if you don't have 1,000 followers, making a video and being like, click on the link, they have to click on your Instagram to go to the link to buy it. Chances are that's too much work. So if you're just getting started with TikTok, I would focus more on the lifestyle of the product and why it's important for people to have it, rather than please buy my product. Instagram has the Instagram shop function, so it's quite easy to sell there. I think when you're just getting started with people, my favorite posts are the like, thank you for supporting small businesses posts. That's growing a nice following, with sharing that you're very thankful to each little sale that you have. Pinterest is one of the best platforms to sell on, and people don't use it as often. And it is a hidden gem. They use Pinterest the way that they use Google. So if you don't know anything about Pinterest, that is my homework I'm giving to you. If you're going to leave today with doing anything, it's creating a Pinterest account, joining a Pinterest webinar, and selling your product on Pinterest.
I love it. And Mo, before we end, I want you to tell everyone and everyone who will watch this recording about what it looks like to work with you guys here at Chatterboss, because I know this is like, the reviews that we get are just undeniable. The value that you offer our clients is just, it's priceless. And so what do clients get when they come to you and they really kind of turn things over, and are there different options, right? Like maybe a client wants to still be the face, they don't want, or they want you to just guide them some, right? They don't want to, like I said earlier, have to plan the content. They just want to create it and so what does it look like working with you and Amy and the team?
Yeah, it's a whole team behind you. So you're not going to be alone, and you'll never have to feel like you're alone. It's really taking your brain off and putting it in the middle of our team and letting us work from there. So we have packages set up. There's 6-month minimum commitments. And the reason for that is because it takes 6 months to get all of your stuff together. And really hit some amazing goals and see real transformation when it comes to your social media pages. But it's also 6 months of you to grow and learn what you love and don't love about social media, so that we can, chorus what you're delegating and what you're actually doing. I'd like to say you get a coach, because I love doing online training. I've done so many live trainings with my clients. I love teaching you how to have a live personality. It's a hard skill. It's hard to talk to a phone. It's very hard. You'll get ad expertise. Amy is an ad guru. Oh my gosh, she blows my mind. I'm good at ads, but Amy is a guru at ads. Blows my mind. Sometimes I'll be looking in there like, oh, that was a good conversion. How did you do that? You'll have a social media manager. So you'll have someone that's doing your day-to-day. And that social media manager we pair you with is very similar to how Chatterboss does the VA. We pick someone who is in the same field or expertise, who will care about your business the way that you care about your business. You'll get a monthly calendar. So each month we will help you. And it really is spoon-fed. I will put the trend or the video or the photo that I want it to be like. The caption outline, if you want to make your caption or you want your social media manager, whatever is jelly. All of the hashtags and the posting time, everything's in there. All you have to do is make it for us. We'll take care of the rest. And teaching you like with the content pillars, because it's great to know what you want to say, but like knowing how you're going to say it sometimes needs help. And some people have tons of ideas. And I literally have looked at 10 pages of Google documents and been like, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing that. The rest can go away. Right. So just being able to word vomit and having someone make sense of it. And just a blast. Social media is fun. I like to tell everyone I am a good time. I like to have a good time. I don't take anything serious. We are not heart surgeons, and thank God for it. It couldn't be me. So yeah, you'll get to have fun with social media again, which I know a lot of entrepreneurs don't get to do. So with us, you will get to do that.
I love that. Well, I always have a good time when I get to connect with you, Mo. Thank you so much for doing this. I know this content is so valuable to our audience and our extended network. So we're excited to share this with more of our audience, and just very thankful to have you here, Mo. You did amazing. And
thank you. This is awesome. I love to talk. You know us. We're live. Whenever we can go live.
Mo was always like, are you up to go live? I'm like, just put it on my calendar. I'm there.
Thank you, Tiffany. Thanks for the great questions, guys. Appreciate you. Yeah, if you want to Slack me or message me about anything, it's mo@chatterboss.com, and I'm here for you.
Thanks, Mo. Have a great day. Have a great day, everyone.